What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let's get started with our first news. Kamaru Usman recently weighed in on Dana White's surprising story about two alleged physical altercations with former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, yet Usman made it clear he isn't entirely convinced things unfolded the way Dana described. Earlier this week, Dana White appeared on the Flagrant podcast, where he claimed that Francis Ngannou grabbed him by the shirt on two separate occasions during his UFC career. According to Dana, the first incident happened before Ngannou's initial fight with Stipe Miocic. Dana said Francis confronted him, grabbed his shirt, and demanded a private jet back to Paris after the fight. Francis would later lose that bout to Miocic. The second altercation, as Dana told it, took place later when Francis was frustrated about not receiving a $50,000 performance bonus. Dana claimed that Francis grabbed him again as he tried to leave his office, prompting Dana to tell him, "Get your hands off me." He also mentioned that UFC executive Hunter Campbell supposedly had a similar tense encounter with Francis. Usman didn't outright reject the story, but he made it clear that certain aspects feel difficult to fully accept. He emphasized that he wasn't present and can't label Dana a liar, but he struggles to visualize the scenario exactly as it was described. Usman explained that both Francis and Dana carry powerful, commanding presences, just in different ways. Francis, being one of the most physically intimidating fighters in combat sports, naturally projects an aura that demands respect. Meanwhile, Dana White's authority stems from his role as the head of the UFC, someone everyone in the organization approaches with a level of professionalism and caution. Usman suggested that because of Dana's position and influence within the company, it's hard to imagine a fighter physically grabbing him multiple times in the manner the story implies. He didn't dismiss the possibility that tensions or heated moments occurred, but he believes the actual events may not have been as dramatic or confrontational as Dana's retelling made them sound. Ultimately, Usman concluded that while the story may contain elements of truth, the full picture is likely more nuanced than the version presented publicly. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out, and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Colby Covington has never been one to hold back his opinions, and his latest comments about former welterweight champion Leon Edwards are no exception. Following Edwards' recent loss to rising contender Carlos Patais, Covington believes the time has come for the British star to seriously consider stepping away from the sport. Speaking in an interview with Helen Yee, Covington offered a blunt assessment of Edwards' future, suggesting that the former champion no longer possesses the same fire that once made him one of the most skilled and consistent fighters in the division. According to Covington, Edwards' performance and demeanor indicate that the hunger and competitive edge that once fueled his success may have faded. He claimed that the motivation that drives elite athletes, particularly those at the championship level, seems to have diminished. Covington also stated that their fight played a role in changing Edwards' career trajectory, implying that the financial rewards Edwards earned from that matchup may have helped soften the intensity that once defined him. "I think he should probably retire," Covington said during the interview. "I think he lost the hunger. I made him so much money when we fought. I just don't think he has that spark anymore." Covington went on to explain that, in his view, Edwards no longer looks like the same determined competitor who once battled his way through the division, defeating top contenders and ultimately capturing UFC gold. Covington emphasized that his comments were not meant to be malicious but rather a reflection of what he observes as a diminishing drive in Edwards' recent performances. He suggested that stepping away from active competition could be the best option for Edwards, allowing him to pursue new opportunities without the pressure and physical toll of fighting at the elite level. "I'd like to see him hang it up and do something else," Covington added, implying that Edwards has already achieved enough in the sport to walk away with his legacy intact. While Covington's opinions are often polarizing, his remarks once again fuel the ongoing debate about Edwards' future and whether the former champion still has the passion required to compete at the highest level in the UFC. Move on to another news. Jack Della Maddalena has finally spoken publicly for the first time since losing the welterweight title to Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. After days of silence following what was arguably the toughest moment of his career, the Australian standout addressed fans through a heartfelt Instagram post, offering gratitude, humility, and a clear sense of determination moving forward. In his message, Jack thanked everyone who has continued to support him through the highs and lows of his journey. He acknowledged acknowledged that the loss was difficult to process, especially given the magnitude of the event and the expectations surrounding his performance. Still, he chose to approach the moment with respect and maturity. In the caption, he wrote, "Thanks to those always supporting. Islam is one of the greats and deserved to win. I will learn and grow." His words made it clear that he is taking the setback seriously, not as a defeat of character but as an opportunity to improve. Jack's recognition of Islam Makhachev's elite skill is also notable. Calling Makhachev one of the greats reflects both respect for the champion's abilities and an understanding of the level he needs to reach to regain championship status. Rather than pointing fingers, offering excuses, or expressing frustration, Jack focused on accountability, a mindset often seen in fighters with long-term championship ambition. He also hinted at his plan moving forward, emphasizing personal growth and the lessons he intends to take from the experience. While he did not outline specific next steps, the tone of his message suggests he is already thinking about his return and is highly motivated to rebuild, refine, and come back stronger. Fans responded positively, praising his humility and champion-like mindset, even in defeat. Losing a world title can be a defining moment in a fighter's career, either a breaking point or a catalyst for transformation. For Jack Della Maddalena, this appears to be the latter. His statement reinforces that he remains committed, focused, and hungry to reclaim his position at the top of the welterweight division. Move on to another news. Arman Tsarukyan is already looking ahead to a potential clash with featherweight champion Ilia Topuria, and he made his intentions clear during UFC Qatar Fight Week. With Ilia scheduled to be in attendance to support his brother, Alexander Topuria, who is set to face Bihat Alikhan, Tsarukyan believes the timing is perfect for a highly anticipated face-off, provided he takes care of business first. Tsarukyan, who is set to meet Dan Hooker in a crucial lightweight bout, stated that if he delivers an impressive performance, he wants Ilia Topuria inside the octagon for a head-to-head confrontation immediately after the fight. When asked whether he would welcome a face-off with the featherweight champion, Tsarukyan didn't hesitate. He explained that a strong finish over Hooker would set the stage for a dramatic call-out, adding, "I think I've got to get a good finish and call him out, and then do the face-off right there." The potential moment would be significant, as both fighters have teased interest in a future showdown despite competing in different weight classes. With Topuria rising as one of the UFC's biggest new stars and Tsarukyan continuing to climb the lightweight ranks, a confrontation inside the cage would generate major buzz for the promotion. Tsarukyan also shared his reaction to Islam Makhachev's dominant victory over Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322, a performance that crowned Makhachev the new welterweight champion. He described Islam's win as incredibly impressive, emphasizing how effortless it appeared at times. "I was super impressed watching the fight because it looked so easy," Tsarukyan said. "It was like a champion fighting an amateur. He showed he's on a different level." He admitted he expected more from JDM, but insisted that Makhachev continues to separate himself from every contender in the sport. According to Tsarukyan, Islam is unquestionably the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world right now. At 170, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to beat him, he added. With Tsarukyan's confidence high and Topuria in the building this weekend, the stage may be set for a dramatic confrontation that could foreshadow one of the UFC's biggest future superfights. Move on to another news. Garry did not hold back when discussing the idea of Kamaru Usman receiving the next welterweight title shot, and he made it abundantly clear that he considers the former champion no longer a relevant contender in today's division. As Garry prepares to face Belal Muhammad this weekend at UFC Qatar, he believes the welterweight title picture should revolve around rising contenders, himself included, not fighters he sees as past their prime. Garry expressed strong confidence that if he delivers a knockout victory over Belal Muhammad, he should unquestionably be next in line for a championship opportunity. What frustrates him, however, is the notion that Islam Makhachev and his team might be targeting Usman as their next opponent. According to Garry, that choice has little to do with merit and everything to do with seeking an easier matchup. He emphasized that Khabib Nurmagomedov and the team guiding Makhachev have always been extremely strategic in selecting fights that make sense both stylistically and narratively. But in Garry's view, giving Usman a title shot now is an attempt to capitalize on Usman's legacy, not his current performance. Garry bluntly stated that Usman, once one of the greatest welterweights of all time, is now irrelevant in the division. While acknowledging Usman's historic achievements, Garry argued that those days are behind him and that he is no longer close to the top of the rankings or the title conversation. Garry insisted that fans want to see fresh matchups, Islam Makhachev against fighters like himself, Shavkat Rakhmonov, or even emerging talents like Michael Morales. He believes the welterweight division has already entered a new era, and trying to force another Usman title run goes against the momentum of that shift. With Usman nearly 40 years old and sitting outside the top tier of contenders, Garry sees no legitimate sporting justification for him being next in line. He added that choosing Usman would be, in his opinion, a cop-out, a way for Islam to secure a favorable matchup and extend his win streak against an aging opponent no longer at his peak. Garry concluded by stating that champions should fight the true number one contender, and right now, Kamaru Usman simply isn't close to meeting that standard. Move on to another news. Dricus du Plessis has spoken publicly for the first time since losing his middleweight championship to Khamzat Chimaev, releasing an emotional and motivational promo across his social media platforms. The South African star, who has built a reputation on resilience, grit, and relentless self-belief, made it clear that although he may have suffered a setback, he is far from finished. In the short but powerful video, Du Plessis reflected on the nature of defeat and the strength required to face difficult moments head-on. His message centered on the idea that losing does not define a champion, but rather reveals the humanity that drives the pursuit of greatness. "In these moments we are not defeated," he narrated. "We are human, and being human is the most courageous thing of all." His words underscored the emotional maturity and mental toughness required at the elite level of the sport, an acknowledgement that even the best fall, and that true strength comes from standing back up. Du Plessis went on to reaffirm his identity as a fighter fueled by heart and conviction. He declared, "I am Dricus. Born brave, and I will be back." The statement served as both a promise to his supporters and a warning to the rest of the division that his championship ambitions are far from over. Despite the disappointment of losing the title, his message radiated confidence and determination, signaling that he is already mentally preparing for his comeback. Fans across the MMA community reacted strongly to the video, with many praising Du Plessis for his authenticity and inspirational tone. Throughout his career, he has proven that perseverance is one of his defining qualities, whether overcoming injuries, battling through tough fights, or clawing his way up the rankings. His latest message only reinforced that image. While the road back to the title may be challenging, Du Plessis made it clear that he welcomes the challenge. His vow to return sets the stage for a renewed push toward reclaiming the middleweight championship, and his supporters appear ready to rally behind him once again. For Dricus du Plessis, this chapter is not the end, it is the beginning of the comeback. Move on to another news. Belal Muhammad is fired up and more motivated than ever as he prepares to face Garry this weekend. The longtime welterweight contender made it clear that his feelings toward Garry are far from neutral. He openly admitted that he genuinely dislikes everything about his opponent and intends to use that emotion to fuel a dominant performance. With a title shot potentially on the line, Belal is determined to deliver a statement victory and remind the division exactly who he is. In an interview ahead of the fight, Belal spoke candidly about his disdain for Garry, emphasizing that the Irish fighter's personality, attitude, and even his voice irritate him. "I hate everything about him," Belal said. "His stupid accent, his stupid voice. I just hate everything about him, especially in a fight." He explained that this level of motivation is rare, noting that the last time he felt this fired up was when he fought Leon Edwards, a fight in which he believes he proved his point despite the unfortunate ending due to an eye poke. Belal stressed that this fight is not only personal but also strategically important. With recent standout performances from top welterweights like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Michael Morales, he knows he needs to produce something exceptional to stay at the front of the title conversation. "I go out there, I finish Ian, and I put a stamp on it," he said. "I want to show the world, remind the world, who I am." He added that Garry's trash talk only fuels his motivation. Being from Chicago, Belal explained that he's grown up surrounded by tough conversations, competition, and verbal battles. He thrives in that environment. I work better with it, he said. I'd rather fight someone who talks. With Ian, it's not hard to find something to hate. Everybody hates him. Belal also took a jab at Garry's fighting style, accusing him of avoiding engagements. If I wore running shoes, maybe I could catch him, he joked, suggesting that Garry often tries to evade pressure. For Belal, the goal is clear: cut Garry off, trap him, and finish him emphatically. He concluded by saying the win must be memorable and undeniable. It has to be with a bang, Belal said. When people talk about the best welterweight performance of the month, my name needs to be at the top of the list.